Ajtony, Ahtum or Achtum was an early 11th century ruler in the territory now known as Banat in present Romania and Serbia. His primary source is the long life of St. Gerard, a 14th century hagiography. Ajtony was a powerful ruler who owned many horses, cattle and sheep and was baptized according to the Orthodox rite in Vidin. He taxed salt which was transferred to King Stephen I of Hungary on the Mureș River. The king sent Csanad, Ajtony's former commander-in-chief, against him at the head of a large army. Csanad defeated and killed Ajtony, occupying his realm. In the territory, at least one county and a Roman Catholic diocese were established. Historians disagree on the year of Ajtony's defeat. It may have occurred in 1002, 1008, or between 1027 and 1030. His ethnicity is also a subject of historical debate. He may have been Hungarian, Kaba, Pecaneg, or Romanian. In Romanian historiography, Ajtony is viewed as the last member of the Romanian ruling family founded by Glad, Lord of Banat, around 900 according to the Gesta Hungarorum. Background: the Magyars, who had lived on the Pontic steppe for decades, invaded the Carpathian Basin after the defeat by a coalition of Bulgarians and Pecanegs about 895 AD. Byzantine Emperor Constantine Porphyrogenitus read that the 7 Magyar tribes formed a confederation with the Kabas. Although the Kabas had originally lived in the Khazar Khaganate, they rebelled against the Khazars and joined the Magyars on the Pontic steppe. According to Churchman Regino of Prum, Constantine Porphyrogenitus and other contemporary sources, the Magyars fought the Bavarians, Bulgarians, Carinthians, Franks and Moravians in the Carpathian Basin. Among the Magyars' opponents, the same sources noted many local rulers, including Svatopluk I of Moravia, Luitpold of Bavaria and Braslav, Duke of Lower Pannonia. The Gesta Hungarorum, the earliest extant Hungarian chronicle, written after 1150, instead mentioned Glad, lord of the lands between the Danube and the Mureș, and other local rulers absent from the earlier sources. Therefore, the credibility of the Gesta reports is a subject of scholarly debate. Although Vlad Georgescu, Ioan Oral Pop and other historians describe Glad as one of the local Romanian rulers who attempted to resist the invading Hungarians, other scholars, including Palengel and Georgi Gheorghe, call him one of the dozen imaginary figures invented by anonymous as foes in the Hungarian conquest of the Carpathian Basin. Constantine Porphyrogenitus identified the whole settlement of Turkey with the basins of 5 rivers, the Kris, Mureș, Timiș, Tisiza and the unidentified Tautiș, around 950, indicating that the land east of the Tisiza was ruled by the Hungarians at the time. The emperor apparently received information about the Carpathian Basin's situation from Termadzis, Dulcesu and Gilas, 3 Hungarian chieftains who visited Constantinople during the mid-10th century. According to Byzantine historian John Skylitz's, Dulcesu and Gilas were baptized during the visit. Dulcesu, Skylitz's wrote, still violated his contract with God and often invaded the Byzantine Empire. Gilas, however, remained faithful to Christianity and made no further inroads against the empire. Skylitzes also mentioned a Greek monk, Hierotheos, who was ordained bishop for the Hungarians. Hierotheos accompanied Gilas back to Hungary and converted many from the barbaric fallacy to Christianity. Most 10th century Byzantine coins and artifacts have been unearthed around the confluence of the Tisiza and the Mureș, particularly in the Banat. Tudor Salagian, Florin Curta and other historians posit that Gilas's lands must have been in these territories, but the theory is not universally accepted. Unlike Gilas, who chose the Eastern Orthodox Church, Ge Grand Prince of the Hungarians, opted for Western Christianity, and a cleric from the Holy Roman Empire baptized him during the 970s. Themar of Mersburg and other 11th century authors emphasized that Ge was a cruel ruler, suggesting that the unification of the Hungarian chieftains' lands began under him. Ge was succeeded by his son, Stephen, who was crowned the first king of Hungary in 1000 or 1001. In modern historiography, Ajtony's ethnicity is debated. Historian Paul Stevenson described him as a Magyar chieftain. According to historian Laszlo Mackay, he was of Kabul origin and his Turkish name may imply that he was a Pecheneг. In Romanian historiography, Ajtony has been considered the last member of the Romanian dynasty descended from Glad. Historian Alexandru Magyaru wrote that the Latin name of Ajtony's seat preserved a Romanian form. The date of Ajtony's conquest is also uncertain. His close contacts with the Byzantine Empire, including his Greek rite baptism in Vidin, show that he ruled after the Byzantine Emperor Basil II seized Vidin from the Bulgarians in 1002. The conflict between Ajtony and King Stephen must have occurred before the king appointed Gerard the first bishop of Csanad in 1030. Alexandru Magyaru, who called Ajtony an ally of Samuel of Bulgaria rather than Emperor Basil II, wrote that Stephen I's army occupied Ajtony's realm in parallel with Basil II's 1002 conquest of Vidin. Mackay placed the conquest of Ajtony's realm in 1008. According to Pop, Stephen I decided to invade the Banat after a 1027 Pecheneг raid on the Byzantine Empire and Emperor Constantine VIII's death the following year. Pop also writes that Ajtony's former duchy was not fully incorporated into the Kingdom of Hungary until the 13th century because frequent internal conflicts had enabled the Romanians to preserve their idea of a Romanian country. Goethe rejected the long-life account of Ajtony altogether, calling it a family legend from the 14th century hagiography.